Hey, welcome back to Minor Emotions, the podcast. I'm your host, Herc. I want to tell you, first and foremost, thank you for following the podcast, supporting the podcast. And for all you guys who want to come on the episode, don't hesitate to reach out, send me an email to Minor Emotions, the podcast at gmail.com. And if you haven't already, go ahead and head on over to Instagram and give us a follow at Minor Emotions underscore VDP. Follow us on TikTok as well at Minor Emotions, the podcast. Today I have a super dope guy. I'm super happy to interview, super excited to interview one of my good friends from the state of Texas. So you guys, again, appreciate the support. Let's get to the episode. Yo, yo, my brother.
What's happening, man?
What's going on, man? How you feeling today?
Hey, man, it's an off day, so I feel good. I worked out this morning, so I got it out the way, bro.
All right. What'd you train today?
Today was quads today. My coach
Quads?
got me doing quad work with like 50 minutes of cardio, so I'm dealing with it right now.
Okay. What are you training for?
Hey, man, I'm hopefully trying to do a show at the end of the year. That's the goal anyway.
Like a bodybuilding show?
Yeah.
All right, all right. Hey man, look, man, I don't know if you've seen any of the previous episodes with the self-proclaimed people's champ, Ty. If you watch the Father's Day episode, I gave him a big shout out because he's about to compete in his first physique competition as well, in August. Or no,
Okay.
September. I keep saying August, but September. So man, if you want, give him a follow, man. Maybe you guys can track each other's journeys and support each other, man. Um,
Oh yeah, I definitely do that. I'll do that.
at the end of this episode, man, I'll get you his contact or his social media so that way you can give him a follow, man. So first, can you do me a favor, man? Can you just introduce yourself to the people?
My name is Ledarius Hicks. 36. I stay in Mansfield, Texas. Born and raised Fort Worth, Texas. I've been here most of my life. I'd say I'm just out here living, bro.
You got any children?
I don't have any kids, man. I don't have any kids. Hopefully one day. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully one day.
You know the Bible say, "Be fruitful and multiply." All
Yeah, man. I
right.
got cousins that do all that, man. I'm just here.
Yeah, you got a brother and me who do that. Obviously, man. I got kids. I love it though. I love being a father. That's one of the most rewarding things and the best things I've done, man. So growing up for you, man, did you come from a two parent household?
I actually didn't, bro. Like I actually grew up, I stayed with my mom most of the time, majority of the time. I still saw my pops too, so it wasn't no like real like any problems with that. But no, I didn't grow up in a two-parent household.
Okay. Did your did your mom and dad ever like their divorce once you were born, or was that before you were born, or they never married?
No, they never married. They never married.
Okay, but they had a good from what you could tell, they had a good co-parenting style.
Oh yeah, man. Like I say, I still no, my mom still sees my pops all the time. Like she asks about him all the time too. My dad does the same thing. So, it's still been good. I see both of them all the time. So
Yeah.
it ain't no problems with that.
All right, that's good, man. I always ask people that question because um, to me, I feel like if you was raised in a two-parent household, I feel like you have a certain mindset. I feel like if you just was raised by your father, you have a certain mindset. And if you was just raised by your mom, you're gonna have a certain mindset and a certain way of thinking, like a certain way of thinking, a certain way of living. So I always just kind of get a baseline with that. Um, how was it for you as a kid? Like I know you grew up with your mom predominantly and you visit your father, but did you have any other siblings or anything like that?
Well, I have a sister too. I have a sister on my father's side, I guess you could say. So other than that, I have stepbrothers growing up too. So I still keep in contact with them. I still see them all the time. So I still had siblings, but I guess you could say, I was the only child until about 15. Yeah, there we go. Till about 15.
Oh, did you find growing up as an only child, did you find that you might have struggled a little bit with like, social interactions?
Honestly, probably not. And it's only because I had a lot of family members, like cousins and stuff like that around. So I was always with them. I went to high school with majority of my cousins. So there was no like real like I didn't have any social problems, I guess you could say, because I was always either going to my cousin's house. You know, as a little kid, you want to go to your cousin's house all the time, so
Yeah.
I ain't never had no issues.
Okay. I was talking about this earlier today, so I'm just curious for you how, growing up. Did you uh did you ever experience like that community raising, like where they say like it takes a village to raise a child, like where you see like your neighbors and stuff like that involved in like your upbringing?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, I can definitely tell you like a couple of like I guess you could say when I was I guess younger, a couple of my neighbors in the old house I used to stay in, I can go to their house if after school or something like that. And then I can say majority of my cousins stay near me, so it was no problem for me to like step over there and chill for a minute until my peoples came back home. So it was, it was never a big issue. And then of course, I didn't really get in trouble a lot when I was a little kid. I might have did like some bad stuff here and there, but it was, what I'm saying, I kept my head on straight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a little different now.
Uh, Let me ask you. So when you were in school, what kind of student were you in school?
I was, I guess you could say, be average student. I was going to school. I was really just there. I played sports, but I really didn't. I think I look at it now. I should have took more opportunity for that because I probably would have. And that's where that sibling thing would have probably played a factor in that too, because you would have had somebody else to really push you too.
Yeah.
I think that's where that comes into play.
What sports did you play?
Uh, Football, majority of the time, I did track. I wanted to do like powerlifting too, but I really didn't do powerlifting. I just did the workouts and then I ran track.
Let me
So it was
let,
always
let me
easy for
let
me
me
to
say
do
this,
that.
man. It's kind of odd too that you say you want to do powerlifting because back when we first met, back in 2018, when I lived in Texas, um, I was on my bodybuilding journey at that time, right? But to be
Hmm.
honest, I try to give credit. I always give credit to my coach because he truly got me into powerlifting, right? He's the one who got me to
Hmm.
understand the sport, coached me. He's been my coach since then. Um, but to be totally honest, I didn't even know it was called powerlifting. But truthfully, you actually introduced me to powerlifting because I used to be coming to the gym and I was kind of strong dude, and I would be lifting, just lifting to, for bodybuilding purposes, right? But for some
Hmm.
reason, man, I don't know if you got a kick out of out deadlifting me. I don't know what it was, but you would come in and you'd be like, you were the first person that I ever seen. No, seriously, you were the first person I ever seen in person, like deadlift, like things like 550, 585, like some crazy numbers like that. I was only deadlifting like 495, and at that time, it was very rare that you seen somebody deadlifting 585 and up. Like that wasn't common. Nowadays, it's super common. Like you deadlifting 585, that's kind of like it's still
Yeah,
impressive to me because I understand, but to people in the community, it's like in the powerlifting community, it's almost like they're like, that's nothing no
that's
more.
it.
Yeah, but I
Yeah, it's
remember,
like what?
I remember we used to be battling it out, and I'm like, dang, this dude, man, like this dude's strong as shit on these damn deadlifts. And that was what was motivating me to get my deadlift up because I could squat. My whole life I could squat. Bench has always been my nemesis. Like I'll be at a bench good for like a year, and then my bench be like, So I want to give you your props, give you your flowers for that, man.
Appreciate it.
You kind of like started the whole process for me to be the powerlifter I am today. So I appreciate you, man. Um,
Your problem, man. Like, I mean, it's true for me. That was just fun times I have in the gym. I will tell you, like, if I do it now, it's still one of those things where people are like, I can't believe you're doing that weight. I was like, I really just don't be trying at this point. I don't do this. They be like, do you powerlift? No.
you
I
should,
just
man.
do
You should
stuff
just
for
get on
fun.
the platform one good time, man. Just do it one time, man. Maybe you could do
I'm
like
thinking about it, bro.
yeah, but well, do your focus on your bodybuilding thing first, and then after that, man, I mean, what you got to lose? But nah.
That's
So when you were in high school, how were you in high school? Like, how would the people in high school describe you? Like, what kind of person would they describe you?
goofy. I ain't gonna lie to you, goofy. But it was
Uh,
fun though, you know what I'm saying? Because as a kid, like I say, I went to school with my cousins.
okay.
So I had fun all the time. It was one of those times where I'm like, dang, like I didn't realize like I had cousins in my class, so I wasn't getting in trouble, but like, we played football together. So it was always one of those fun times where like even like on the football field, it was like, hey fool, don't hit me because you already know like we
Yeah.
ain't trying to go hard.
So everybody always assumes that all black people come from, black people come from the hood. They lived a rough life. Was that the case for you? Did you grow up in the hood? Were you around the projects, stuff like that? So
Nope,
I know
never.
Mansfield. You said you lived in Mansfield, which is that's close to Fort Worth and everything like that, which is also close to Arlington and Dallas kind of has like a little rep. So did you ever have to deal with any of that kind of stuff?
Nah, man, Mansfield is. I guess you could say Mansfield then was country. I will definitely say that it was like country. Like it was more cattle out here. If you probably see somebody riding a horse down the street, I guess you could say. Now it's turned into a mini small city at this point because they didn't upgraded so much of the community. There's more population in Mansfield now, especially each day because I think they're supposed to bring like a soccer team this way too.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's growing.
Mansfield United.
Yeah, hey man, I don't know what it's gonna be, but
They're gonna be
it's already a lot
Manchester
of
United,
traffic now.
Mansfield United. The only reason I ask that is because sometimes, man, I see this happening where, as a black man or a black person, when you say that you didn't come from, poverty, you didn't come from the struggle, you didn't come from it, like, you know, just the bottom, I guess you could say, the trenches or whatever. When you didn't come from that, sometimes you're not socially accepted, or they try to say like, you're not black enough. Did you ever experience any of that kind
Yeah.
of stuff? Uh,
Uh, Majority of the time, yes, and that's just because Mansfield, like I say, Mansfield at the time was predominantly white. It was majority white families in Mansfield at the time. So me going to Mansfield was a new experience because I came from Crowley, and
oh,
Crowley was really like a higher black population than anything else. So coming from Crowley and going to Mansfield, you're like, there's a whole new world at this point that you have to kind of adjust to. Um, I mean, there was a lot of times where there's fights in the school, whites versus blacks. I'm not even lying.
no,
It
I
was
believe
white
it.
versus blacks. Yeah, it was white versus blacks, and that was one of those times where you're just like, dang, like this is crazy. And then now it's like it's so mixed because there's more black families in Mansfield now than it is in a long time.
Now, experiencing that and not having that same, upbringing that the rest of the majority of other, African Americans, project that or proclaim that they can't have. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying that a lot of people say they come from that because they feel like it's socially acceptable, right? And so, since you didn't come from that, did that ever affect you to make you feel like you weren't black enough or feel like you didn't fit in?
Nah, man, not at all. Because like I say, I had a whole bunch of family here, so that made it a lot easier for me to kind of fit in, be who I am. Never had to like doubt myself. What I'm saying, you're around your family, it's a little different because it's your family, so
Yeah.
they're gonna be there for you regardless and protect you if they need to. You know what I'm saying? That's so it made it easy for me.
How important do you feel like it is for people to have a support system like that, to where they don't have to worry about trying to socially fit in?
Oh, a lot.
Because these days, all right, you think about it like these days, they have it a little bit harder than us. They have to fit in person. They have to fit in their families. They have to fit in on social media. They have to fit in. It's constant. It's like that's a lot of pressure. And I know we didn't grow up in the social media area. Like I think we had like Black Planet and MySpace and Facebook.
MySpace.
Hey, you know what? MySpace was before its time, man. MySpace is way better than Instagram, but but that's just my opinion.
Hey man, you're right.
My Instagram ain't nothing but dropping photos and videos and reels and hoping that somebody likes it and comments. Back in the day, MySpace, you had to like, in order for people to like your page, like you had to have the right music. You had to
Well, you
have
had to
all the,
customize your whole page.
yeah. Like I used to go to some people's page. I'm like, man, this dude's gonna be a graphic designer. In the
Hey
third
man, you
page,
got the soldier boy. You got the soldier boy in the background playing.
yeah. I wonder if I can still get into mine. But no, so what do you think that how do you feel like? Do you think that like how important do you think that is?
That's very important, man. Like, I mean, I can honestly say, and I would say this too, because the kids that I talk to, because I'm part of like a mentor group ship too.
Okay.
a lot of them have a lot of struggles too, as far as like how they can fit in a little bit differently with people. Sometimes, like I'm like, well, I mean, I got a social media time, so like anything you post, you're gonna find somebody that's gonna say any and everything about you. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta kind of like block that out because it's it's just people. You ain't never seen this person before.
Yeah,
You're gonna let that person dictate how you feel or how you should act. So I'm like, I didn't grow up in that era, so I don't know how that is. I say I
yeah,
can't. If you don't say nothing to me, if I don't know you, then I don't respond to it.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Speak.
you get that.
Oh man, listen, I get it all the time. But do me a favor, man. Speak on the mentor program. Like what's the mentor program? How is it?
Well, I'm actually part of the group called the 100 Men Built to Stand. So we actually do feed the homeless. They have mentorship. It's actually just anything for the community as well. I mean, I'm not sure if you saw it was a shooting in Fort Worth with one of the rappers, and then his daughter got shot too. Yeah, it's a sad situation, especially for Fort Worth because people we're supposed to be rated the number one, I guess you say one of the safest cities in the country, I guess you could say, but Dallas is right up like to the worst part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those situations where it's bad. But I mean, being in a group has actually helped. I will say that too, because I got to experience feeding the homeless for the first time, and I actually kind of like it was a little different for me. So I've done it now 3 times, and
Uh,
it's been perfect every time.
so do you guys just help like the homeless? How do you guys like who all do you guys reach out to and help?
Some of the, I guess you could say down in Fort Worth, there's a lot of homeless shelters down there. So typically we'll just set up one of the corners in Lancaster and Fort Worth and just feed as many people as we can, whatever food we have to give out. Clothes, I'll try to like get clothes together this time around for the next time we have to feed the homeless. Um, like clothes and hygiene, like toothpaste, toilet paper, stuff like that. Stuff that I can kind of bring out there for them. Because now, since I've been working at the gym, that's what I've been asking people to do is if they can, like, just support, a little bit to help out the
That was what I
homeless.
was about to ask you. So do you guys like accept donations? Like how does that work?
They do accept donations. It's just, depending on like who can actually get them and round them up for everybody. Because one of our, I guess you could say, the organization leader, he's actually working out at Fitness Connection, and he's getting ready for a show too. But he
Okay.
also has a location that he's at right now too. So I've been trying to like, just kind of like link in with him just to whatever he needs. To kind of help support him, but there's other members too. Like, I mean, there's a guy that I think will probably be good for like just good for whatever you're doing too right now. To get to talk to, and he's real cool. He's doing the same thing, podcasting, motivational speaker. Can definitely tell you a good story. I will definitely
Oh
say
yeah.
that.
Okay,
Yeah.
man. It's time to send me an email to mind over emotions the podcast at gmail.com. We get them scheduled.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so anybody who might be watching this and they want to support you guys, what you guys have got going on, how would they go about supporting you? Like, do they have an email address? Is there like a website? Is there?
Yeah, but it's an Instagram page and we have a Facebook page. It is basically the 100 Men Built to Stand. I'll shoot you a link too, so that way you can ever post it to your website. Anybody can go on there if you just need to follow us. If you're in the area and you want to help out, donations, be more than welcome to take them. Like I say, I work at EOS Fitness in Fort Worth, so if anybody stops over there, like, hey, is there anything that you would need? Cool, this is what I need, and go from there. Because like I say, I try to set up something that where I can, get it together for the guys and take it out there.
Well, look, man, I appreciate the things that you and the rest of the men that you got around you, what you guys are doing for the community, for the homeless we have, because I find sometimes that we sometimes care more about the people abroad, the countries abroad, than our own people in our own backyard. We got hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of homeless people in America, and there's no help for them, but we're constantly sending billions of dollars to these other countries to help them out, and that's fine. Yeah, but What about our own? We drive right past them. We frown on them. We do nothing to help them. We judge them, you know, when they're really just they're going through it. They're at the bottom of their bottom. I used to get mad. Well, before I started getting mad, I used to be a part of it, and then I realized that what I was doing was wrong, right? Laughing at homeless people, taking videos of them, posting them on social media and stuff like that. And it's kind of really wrong because you're really making fun of people, somebody, a human, somebody that somebody loved at one point or still does love, and they're just going through it. They're having their worst day ever, their worst time ever, and maybe we could sit back and judge and say that it's a choice. We could sit back and say that, that's their choice. They made those decisions. That very may well be true, but that's still a human that God created and that God loved and God told us to love as well, right? So
Mhm.
instead of us laughing at them, if you don't want to, if you can't afford or you can't help them, physically any kind of way, what you can do is you can say a prayer for them. Uh,
Mhm.
and we would rather joke and laugh and joke about it than say a prayer. So you guys actually getting out in the community and doing things, taking out of your time, just that alone, taking out your time, that's admirable. And I appreciate you guys for doing that, man.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so let me ask you, man, you have no kids. You ever been engaged, ever been married?
Yes, I have been married. I'm still currently married.
Okay.
So it's kind of one of those situations where we're just working through. Everybody goes through their, I guess you could say, little troubles here and there.
Yeah.
So we're working through them like every married couple.
Yeah.
Um, we still have a good.
Let me ask you this. What's the first when it comes to being married, what do you find to be the most rewarding? And then also what do you find to be the biggest struggle as a man?
The most rewarding thing is you don't have to you have to try to hunt for anybody, man. It's like you already got that person that you got to keep doing it over with each
Yeah.
time. You
Hmm.
ain't got to go hunt for nobody else. You do a different approach each time with the person you with
Yeah.
each time each day. The most difficult part is still kind of being one of those, like, if you're, I guess you could say, a person that's kind of a loner still, and you're still trying to get rid of those old habits by being with somebody. um, you know we were together for about 7, married for 2. Say it's going on more, but it's still one of those, I guess you could say, it's a learning process. I always figure like marriage is one of those where the more you're together, the more you kind of learn more about that person again over and over. It might switch up the next 2 years, the next 3 years, then you got to figure that out. Then it's like, okay, I'm still in love with the person that I was with. It's just now I gotta come with a new game at this point.
Yeah. You're always forever adapting. Forever adapting. So what kind of advice? Well, before I get to the advice part, when you were looking for your wife, um, out on the hunt, use your words, right? What were the three qualities or the three main things that you were looking for in a woman?
Good, being a good, I guess you could say, really good woman as far as just how she presents herself.
Hmm.
I cook. That's another thing. Like that. That's the whole thing. And as far as just health conscious, like if you're health conscious, because I know as far as in the Black community how we are already, if we're not always on our health, like staying on top of it, we have issues. Like I had already lost an aunt from kidney failure. So it's like, I had to make sure my dad is okay. He didn't have quadruple bypass. So I'm like, okay, I gotta really be on top of my game for health wise too, as far as my significant other too. Like
Yeah,
they're about the same thing. They don't like to go through those problems. You know what I mean?
yeah. So when you were what was the difference between how you were when you were uh single, just trying to mingle, versus when you decided to be on the hunt to look for a wife? What did you have to change? Like, what in your behaviors did you have to acquiesce? Did you have to change, like what kind of stuff did you have to change to get yourself prepared for that?
I guess it'd be just more so just close. I guess you say stop being so open to other people and and be more just like locked in on who I'm with, like trying to really build
Well,
something
I'm
with
saying
that person.
before you got with her, right? So like, let's just
Or
say,
okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
before when you're out you're out. I don't want to say in the streets, but when you're just when you're out living when you're out living just living life, right? And
Hey,
then
when you say it on the streets, I was out there too. You know,
okay, well, so
I
when you
lived
was
in
out in the streets
Texas.
doing your thing, right? You were obviously you were one way. You thought one way, you acted a certain way, right? But then when you get ready to decide, okay, I'm ready to settle down. What was like the biggest thing that you had to change? Obviously we know you had to like cut off anybody you were talking to and and stuff
Yeah,
like that. But what about your behaviors, like in your mindset? What had to change?
I think it was just the mentality of just keep doing that same process because you never really built up any connection with anybody.
Hmm.
Like you were just doing it for fun at that point. Like which don't get me wrong, like a lot of people do it in their younger years, but then when they find that one person, it clicks.
Yeah,
So they instantly turn it off to the point where it's like nobody else matters but this one person.
yeah,
So it makes sense for that to happen. I mean, but like I say, anybody that just if you're just living life and you're just enjoying yourself, um, I mean, by all means, just have fun. Be safe out there, but
most important thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
be safe out there. But just enjoy yourself, enjoy life. But then when you find that one person, you'll know. That's how I say it. You'll know.
Well, see, I was about to ask you if you had any advice. What kind of advice would you give to somebody, to a man who was thinking about settling down and started to look for his wife? Because as men, we're the like you said, the hunters, but we're the ones who court women, right? Um, so we're the ones who predominantly do the approaching and all that kind of stuff, doing the taking on dates and stuff like that. Um, I was going to ask you what kind of advice you would give, but you kind of just gave it. So
Okay.
I guess my last question on you dating and your marriage and everything like that is, one, how long have you guys been married? And two, um, what? Oh, you didn't tell me what you told me what the most rewarding thing was, but the hardest thing, you didn't tell me what the hardest thing was.
The hardest thing is basically learning the communication because everybody communication skills is always a hard thing, and that happens over time. Like you'll eventually learn to kind of figure it out. I mean, of course, they always say like even being in a relationship, you're supposed to already know, but sometimes like I say, depend on the person. Like me, I'm sometimes I be going through so much in my mind, in my head, that it just like goes over my head, and I'd be like, what'd you say again? I was like, you might have to repeat that like 2 or 3 times before I catch on to it,
Yeah,
and then by that time, I'm pretty much like, okay, I got it. But then she understands that too, so she don't get as mad as much
yeah.
because it's like, okay, I know he's probably gonna come back to it, but it's gonna take him a minute.
I agree because also, you might be the quote unquote best communicator, right? But you're the best communicator in your world and you're the best communicator with the person you were with before, right? But no
Mm-hmm.
two people are the same. So like for instance, like you might be with somebody who you guys in your relationship, you guys want to know everywhere that each other goes, when you get there, when you're leaving, what you're doing all day. But then you might get with the next person, and they're like, "Nah, man, that's controlling, that's narcissistic. Like, no, I'm not doing that. That's too much." So I think learning your partner, and then finding something what works for you, and not trying to
Mm-hmm.
use these little dating models to depict how your relationship is ran, because you're two different people who's been through two different lifestyles and life experiences, and you guys got to figure out what works best for y'all. You know what I mean? So big shout out to you, man, for getting out them streets and locking down one woman, and just going through that journey and not giving up, even though it gets hard. You guys keep fighting for what you want, and you're fighting for each other. So big shout out to you for that, because us men as a whole, especially as black men, we got a bad rep out here. So I appreciate
Tell
you.
me
Yeah,
about
so
it. Tell me about it.
I appreciate you for doing what you gotta do to make yourself, at least just for yourself alone, make yourself a better person, and make your reputation be good. So that's big. Um, did you ever go to college?
I did. Right now, I'm currently in college, so I'm trying to get a sports psychology degree. So, I mean, I'm working towards that right now.
You said
Um,
sports psychology.
yep,
Okay,
sports
what does
psychology.
that encompass?
Uh, I guess you can say you can put it into a picture of a person trying to bring the bring a person back. I guess you could say to that athletic performance, or just even talking to them, trying to get their head right for them, even when they're perfectly fine. You know, like
Oh,
because you might have an athlete that might be perfectly fine, and they going through some at home childhood trauma. Something's always been bothering them for a long period of time, and they've been a high athlete for a perfectly long time. It just hit a rocky road and they can't perform. So
yeah.
you got to kind of get them back on track. And then there's the people that have been injured that can't go and they're having a hard time after getting healed up. Like I feel like it's going to happen again. Well, let's figure out like what we can do.
So basically, it's like a therapeutic. It's like almost like therapeutic.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty dope, man. How long is that training for? You said a bachelor's degree,
Mm-hmm.
so 4 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I wanted to do physical therapy assistant, but I kind of, everything happened after COVID, so I kind of changed that because it halted a little bit of everything after COVID. It was kind of hard to get back in school because I was doing everything on campus. So COVID made that really hard to do.
Yeah.
Um, so now it's like, okay, I gotta, put the foot on the pedal and, finish out what I wanted to do. But sports psychology, I actually figure if I did that, I still can do my training along with that too.
Hmm.
So it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit, be able to train while being able to coach and talk to somebody to get them back right um, and go from that point.
All right. Uh, so for all you guys who are watching the podcast, if you haven't already, head over to Instagram and give us a follow on Instagram at _emotions_VDP. Follow us on TikTok at _emotions, the podcast. And if you want to come on and share your story, go ahead and shoot me an email at _emotions, the podcast at gmail.com. And you drop in the comments what you guys think so far about Ledarius's story. And if you would love to support him and his group that he has, what they're doing for the community out there in Texas, go ahead and shoot him a message as well. I will drop his email into the comments or to the description, and so that way you can go ahead and show your support. Okay.